Today's Ask Me Anything goes out to Adalbert de los Reyes. I have a 4-month-old male Belgian puppy. I'm assuming that's a Malinois. Aggression is not my concern. Is there any way that he can be somehow a little bit aggressive? Perhaps you have an old video that can recommend. So I've gotten questions like this before, and what I think you're asking me is how to make your dog aggressive. And if you have a 4-month-old Belgian Malinois and he's not aggressive enough, then maybe there's something wrong with you. I don't recommend really making a dog more aggressive. I think a dog, as a puppy should be a puppy. It should be fun. It should have a great time. Generally, dogs that are aggressive as puppies are dogs that, that a good breeder would put down, that a good breeder wouldn't continue to breed, wouldn't sell to somebody, wouldn't want in the public. I think, these kind of dogs are dangerous. They lead to a lot of problems. They lead to biting people, biting other dogs. Bottom line is, if you want to make your dog a protection dog, then I think what you should do is take the dog to a good club where they know how to train the dog. And remember that it's a sport. It's a fun activity for the dog. Other than a dog being a civil dog, which is a dog that's going to do military extraction work or severe police work, most dogs that bite, protection dog sports, dog sports in general, are dogs that are doing it because they're having fun with it. And that's really what the dog should be. So I hope I misread your question. I really do. I hope you're not asking a really stupid, idiotic, moronic question. And if you are, then just take it for what it is. It's a stupid question. But if you have a dog that's really kind, enjoy him, especially a Malinois. It should be a really nice dog. It's a lovely breed when bred properly, and it can be a problematic breed when the wrong people, which I hope you're not that person, Adalbert, if those people get hold of that dog. My dog, Malinois, 6-month-old, has a behavioral problem. When he comes to me, he pisses. He keeps his favorite toy to himself, freezes it, and keeps it in his mouth. I never take it away from him when he brings it. Obviously you can't, if he won't give it to you. I play and let him win. How do I open puppy because it looks closed and he does want to share the toy? How do I teach him to release the toy because the food is not sufficient value? Okay, so I don't understand. The wording of the question is a little confusing, but I understand this might be a language barrier thing, of which I'm an expert. Would you believe I'm an expert? Maybe not. Alma, so the idea here is if the dog has something, it's not really a behavioral problem, it's a possessive problem, and it's something that's kind of normal in any dogs. It's something that's trained out of the dogs at some point by doing a fair trading game. And what I really do with dogs, and it doesn't matter what kind of dog it is, but a Malinois especially, you want them to be possessive or something, you want them to have a nice toy drive, a nice play drive. So what you're gonna wanna do is, the dog won't want to share the toy that he has unless you have something he wants. Now you're already saying that the food is not a high enough value, so you'll wanna look at something that's gonna be an equal value, which I always recommend to get multiples of the same toy. So if you have a yellow tug, get 2 yellow tugs, or maybe 3. If you have a red ball, get 2 red balls, or maybe 3, because you're going to want to always have 2. In the beginning especially, if you watch my retrieve videos, you'll see that getting the dog to trade a toy for the exact same toy is a lot easier than forcing the toy out of the dog's mouth, and that's where you're really going to get into problems with the dog, because you're going to create an aversion to the dog having something, and it's not a clear picture for the dog. So your dog training should be based on a fair relationship and a fair structure that they give and they get. Corrections come in later. They're going to come in for sure, but with a 6-month-old, you're going to need to make sure the dog understands that giving the object to you has a fair result. And a fair result is going to be to give them the same thing. Then you can teach them the out command and things like that, and that will all come with time. And I don't think you'll have a problem with it if you do it in a fair way. So there you go. There you have it. I have a Belgian Malinois for about a year. She came from a good home, but it got too much for the previous owners. I got her when she was 1 year old. She is well behaved and enjoys running and jumping, but we have a little girl, human, that wants to play all the time, which Sadie, the dog, loves to play, but she won't play tug and will not take food from your hand. Any suggestions? We live on a farm and she helps with the cows, the dog, not the girl. I'm working on that one. That's very funny. So I don't really get the question, because you're saying that the dog enjoys running and jumping and the little girl that wants to play all the time, which Sadie the dog, I think you mean with Sadie the dog. But you can't let your little girl play tug with your Malinois. That's not going to happen. I'll tell you what you need to do is you need to make sure the dog, first of all, is trained by you. You're the father of the house, or maybe you identify as the father of the house. And you need to make sure the dog listens to you. So the dog must follow your obedience, and with a Malinois, it's very simple. It's a very clear communication. Make it fun, make it rewarding, make it fair, and the dog will listen to you, right? The little girl is off limits. The little girl can give the dog treats. The little girl can pet the dog, as long as you know the dog is safe with the little girl. That's, your daughter is your number one priority. You need to make sure of that. Then the dog is your second priority, or I'm sorry, your wife is. Somehow you're going to have to figure out your wife and daughter, and then your dog. It always comes like that. Unless you don't have a wife, then it's the dog. Then a wife will come, and then it'll be the wife. Anyway, the point is, you want your dog to understand that, you want your dog to, not your wife, you want your dog to understand that you're very clear on your obedience commands, and the dog must see that your daughter is primary importance. For example, I have Boz. He's not a boy, he's a dog. But Boz is very frail and he's very old. My dogs know I carry Boz in my arms like a little baby. When I put Boz down, nobody messes with Boz, man. They don't play with him. They don't do anything. They can sniff him. They can go up to him. They can be very caring to him. And that's it. And that's the way you need to have that's what you need to have your Malinois understand about your daughter, that you own your daughter. Your daughter is your number one priority. You will protect your daughter 100%. You will be focused on your daughter. And the Malinois will listen, right? The dog will understand. The dog has a great place. You're going to take good care of it. You're going to love the dog. You're going to give the dog everything the dog possibly needs. Then you can give the dog more structure. The more structure the dog has, the more the dog understands what you expect of the dog, the easier the dog is going to have in his life with your daughter and on your farm. I mean, what a great place to be raised for a Malinois on a farm. I think it's fantastic. You're doing the right things. Be firm, be fair, and be very understanding of what you teach your dog and what you expect. And that if you say you want something, you must get it. You must get it from the dog. And be fair about it. Use lots of rewards, use lots of praise, be very, very kind to your dog. And I think your daughter will learn from that. And the Malinois will learn the importance that your daughter plays in your life. If you love this video, be sure to subscribe to this channel for tons of dog training videos that are updated all the time. And check out my members-only team at robertcabral.com for member lessons and podcasts that you won't see anywhere else.